Good evening, everybody. Today we're going to talk about uh, MTTS oscillator, and then we're just going to touch a little bit of the Kurtosis um, oscillator as well. So let's take a look at the market, the way it's performing right now, and where do we expect it on Monday. Okay, so right now I have my daily chart. Right now I'm looking at the 1 minute chart and I'm looking at the 15-minute chart and the 60-minute chart. These are my favorite charts and because they align beautifully with the MTTS oscillator. So let's talk about the market. S&P by 500. This tells me that the market should go higher next week. Yeah, we can think about trade wars and all that if you like, but overall, econ data has been coming in strong, so we're gonna focus on that. One of the things I like it to see next week is break this 28.46 and 93 cents resistance. And you can see it right there. Also, MTTS oscillator is going to come back into the oversold, overbought area, I should say. Once it crosses that, we can expect it to shoot up rapidly back into the 2900s. Right here, you could see the MTTS oscillator in action, I should say, and also kurtosis. See, you get a kurtosis back and then a nice price action right there. You get MTTS oscillator going up, kurtosis spike, and boom. Okay, so right now we're expecting this to drop lower, maybe back into the this support area, and it may even break it. Only because you see this 15 minute chart, the MTTS oscillator is going lower. It may just say to 'em, forget about it, I'm just gonna go higher, but it may just continue lower. Also, this oscillator on the 60-minute chart says that it needs to have a pullback maybe into the 825 area, 830, like right around here. If it holds this, it'll come back up and we have a nice gap up on Monday on the S&P 500, SPY, right? Also, let's look at the another stock that I wanted to touch base on was Twitter. This baby right here. Let me clear out all the drawings. Clear drawings. Yes. And so that way we have a nice canvas right here. And for this, I'm going to pull up my weekly chart right here. And let's look at this right here. It's following a nice trend. Following a nice trend right here. And it's actually trading below that trend line, which is kind of scary, right? Say, oh my God, it may keep going lower. And it should keep going back down to like the 28.37 area and or maybe even lower, but that's probably the low if it wants to complete like a nice head and shoulder pattern. come back down to like 28, back up to 36, and complete a head and shoulder pattern. However, the head and shoulder pattern doesn't have to be like on a straight line. It could be angled, and I'll show you where, right here, right? Um, Actually, no, not that one. Let's take this trend line out and then zoom out a little bit. Let's grab all this. And you can see this right here, right? Now, right here, maybe right here. Okay, like a nice channel. He's trading on a nice channel. So Kramer been saying, oh, it's going to go back to 50. And I like it to go back up to 50 and complete this head and shoulders pattern sideways right here. Go back up to like 250, complete the right shoulder, come back down to 40, around 40-ish, and drop again. It could never happen, the drop or the head and shoulders pattern. It could just continue the nice trend. Excuse my nasal. I think I'm fighting some allergies. Anyways, I could continue on this nice channel. Uh, it may not. I mean, just complete the head and shoulders pattern, but we would like it to see going back up. That needs to break. Definitely needs to go back up and break this trend line in order for it to continue up. If it can't do that, then it's in trouble, right? MTTS oscillator in the 15 and 60 minutes are in the oversold area, so that it's indicative that it should climb back on Monday. If it happened steam Monday and Tuesday, it should break that trend line here and continue its way to 50 bucks. So let's keep a look at that. Let's look at Snap real quick. Everybody loves to hate this guy. So Snap's close into earnings, and if they say good stuff, I don't know. People hate this one, I guess, kind of like Tesla, but it looks like it wants to go up and back into the 20s. If they have good earnings or if they have good verbiage, forward guidance, it should go back into this area. And then that is uh, not certain. Everybody likes to short this stock, and they could just say some good news and it squeezes out. Let's keep an eye on that for earnings. Amazon. I want to talk about this one because we have a kurtosis spike right here. It completed on Friday. The MTTS oscillator is going up. It's on a nice trend upwards. We had a buy signal on Thursday. We had its pullback and MTT oscillator on 15 and 60 minutes. Look great. That tells me that after this pullback, it should go back that up to 140 and maybe even continue its way back into new highs, especially after that kurtosis spike and the good earnings. It just screams 2100 short term, maybe into December. We know, I don't know. Um, Also, you can see MTTS oscillator in this area after it closed on Thursday. That Friday, you may get a pullback, especially it aligns with the 60-minute chart. And you see that pullback, the big drop, and then kind of follows through. If the stock market has a red day, we're gonna see it back at 810 maybe in the 1800s, only because the average lines have not completed its way down. But that doesn't necessarily have to be true all the way down for it to keep continue to climb up. Um, Also, one thing about Twitter, I talked about this head and shoulders pattern. If it does go all the way to, if it drops maybe around this area, 2832, complete its head and shoulder pattern, and it'll just take a few months for it to complete, especially because we're looking at the weekly for this head and shoulder pattern. So give it until December if it does it. If not, we could see it a nice healthy stock, growth stock next year. We'll see. And let's look at some other ones. I like CZZ. It completed it. Kurtosis spike. We got a buy signal Friday, and it just looking good. It closed above the 80 of WMA W moving average. Excuse my allergies. Also, uh, expect a pullback on Monday, uh, next trading day. MTTS oscillator that says that it's getting closer to a pullback, so and it's right around resistance. So we can expect a pullback similar to what we saw in Amazon. You see this buy signal, we had a nice pullback, and we can see that on ZZ, CZZ. We can see that. So let's keep an eye on that. I love it because it's doing what I call a kiss of the bull. When everything converges together on the MTTS oscillator. Once it crosses, if we get a nice green day on Monday, which is tomorrow, we can expect it to go back up to maybe $12 area. So this will be a common tradable stock. I don't know if I want to try the options. They look horrible. There's no volume on it. I don't think there's room for to make any money on the options. So definitely um, common. ATU, we can expect the Kurtosis buy to finalize um, tomorrow or the next trading day. I don't know if I want to like this long, but we'll see once it finishes. We'll keep it on watch. Same similar with it, CHS. It looks more bullish than ATU. Um, Fran, uh, not a fan. It has kurtosis spike, while the MTTS oscillator is going down. Also, weekly is not very um, convincing as well. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what it does. It's probably going to come back down. IP, it needs to complete these head and shoulders patterns. I'm not very happy about. So I don't know that it will do anything. MPW. This may just continue up on this kurtosis spike. We had one back in April 27. They went from like 12 to like 14. If this follows through and continues to go up, we could probably see 16. Um, and it's gonna take about this amount of time, which is gonna be like what, 4 months up into December. So be patient with it. OXQ, um, we like this pattern. Um, Definitely, it's one to watch. So if it open up screen and it has a strong trading day, then it may be a good one to hold down to like $7.60, but I don't know. We'll keep it that. It's not very volatile, so this is a patient stock. Um, that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at Tesla real quick. Everybody loves this guy, Tesla. Look at the weekly chart. This is amazing. Look at this. I love the volatility on this stock right here. This is one of my favorites to trade. I wanted to break 360. Once it breaks 360, this thing's gonna fly. It's gonna fly up to the 400s maybe. Expect a slice pullback on Monday, which is gonna be your indicator to load up on it, because the next day, or maybe even in the middle of the day, it'll start climbing back up. I like this pattern right here with a doji. We may just get open right here, do a little um, open up around this area, 349, do a pullback into 348, and then shoot back up and cross that resistance. Only because this very people like to love to short this stock, and there's a call behind it, and I don't think the call's ready to let it go. So tradable stock, get some options if you want, and I bid you a good night. We'll see you again soon. Bye bye.